Chapter 16, Part 2. The professor was right about Gonzales. He arrived at the Carters the next day, along with two unpleasant-looking henchmen. Gonzales was a Brazilian who had traded in the Amazon for many years. He was not a nice man, but he dealt fairly in business, and Mr. Carter had now exhausted his patience. Mr. Carter took him into the study, but the walls were thin, and it was almost impossible not to hear what Gonzales was saying. "I've had enough," he said in Portuguese. "Either you let me have what you owe me in full, or I will take legal action." Then Carter's voice low, whining. "I only need a few more weeks. They're bringing in a big batch of rubber from the north of the estate. It'll fetch a good price." "That's not what I've heard," said Gonzales. The voices went on for a while longer. Gonzales loud, Carter's a low mumble. Then Gonzales threw open the door, bowed to Mrs. Carter, gathered his henchmen, and was gone. For 2 days after Gonzales had come, Mr. Carter tried to sort out his papers and his bills. He even went out into the forest, a thing which he did not often do, to encourage those workers who were still with him. But then a little packet came from England with the greatest prize he had ever yet seen, a double set of navy blue eyes. "They're from a captain in the French army. He was blown up in a battle. Look how they match, it's incredible." And he disappeared again off into his study and wasn't seen except for meals. Mrs. Carter had started to write to Lady Parsons in England, covering the paper with her hand when anyone came into the room. She wrote several of these letters and tore them up. But in the end, she was satisfied with what she had written and posted the letter herself in Manaus. As for the twins, their happiness did not last long. At first, they made lists of what they would buy: the dresses, the shoes, the hats, the boxes of chocolate. If Beatrice decided to order a flounce party dress in pink organdy, Gwendolen decided to order one in blue. When Beatrice thought she would buy some proper scent, Gwendolen said she was sick of boiling lavender water and said she would have some too. "You don't have to copy me," said Beatrice cautiously, and Gwendolen looked at her blankly. The twins had always copied each other. Mrs. Art Carter had asked them to share some of the money with the parents. "Your father is having a hard time, girls. I think it would be kind to let the whole family join in your good fortune," she said. But the twins absolutely refused. "It's ours, we need it. We don't want Maya to have money and not us. We want her to go." So now the twins became suspicious. First of their mother, then of the servants. "They're always hanging about," they said fretfully. This was true. Tappy and the others, remembering their promise to Finn, took every chance they could to see that Maya was all right. Hiding their money became the most important thing to the twins. At night, Beatrice hid her banknotes in an old doll's pram, which she kept by her bed. Gwendolen slept with hers under her mattress. They took the money with them to the lavatory. They brought it to the dining room when they were doing their lessons. By now, they had stopped planning how to spend the money. They just wanted to look at it and count it and gloat over it. From being suspicious of everyone else, the twins became suspicious of each other. They suspended a piece of cotton between their beds so that one of them couldn't creep out at night without waking the other. Then Beatrice developed a septic throat and couldn't go to dancing class, and Gwendolen wouldn't go without her in case her sister stole the money while she was away. But what worried Maya was not the way the twins behaved. The twins had always been odd. What worried her was the feeling that Minty was hiding something from her, that her governess had a secret. A few days after Gonzales had come, she knocked on Miss Minton's door and opened it to find her kneeling on the floor, putting books into her tin trunk. She looked up quickly and shut the lid, but for the first time Maya felt that she was interrupting something private. I'm putting some of these away. I found ants in a Shakespeare." "They must be very tough ants," said Maya, told out against Miss Carter's sprays. "Ants are tough," said Miss Minton, and changed the subject. But Maya continued to feel uneasy, for she had the feeling that what Miss Minton had been doing was packing. "Oh, Finn," thought Maya, "I know I should be glad you're free and happy, and I am glad. Only, I really don't know what to do here anymore." But Finn wasn't happy. Both he and the boat seemed somehow sluggish, and he couldn't quite get rid of the knot in his stomach. He had moored by a huge dyewood tree. The water flowed quietly into a deep channel. Nowhere better could be found. So why? He'd had his supper of beans and roasted maize. The deck was piled with chopped wood. The dog had gone ashore to find his own supper and came back with a smug expression and blood on his jaws. Everything was fine. A group of howler monkeys came swinging through the trees, making their evening racket, half screech, half laughter, and stopped when they saw the Arabella. Perhaps I should have gone to Westwood, thought Finn. They'd have knocked out all this rubbish with me. Foreseen disasters. What did he think had happened to Maya and Carter's bungalow? The whole point about the Carter's bungalow was that nothing happened in it. It was the most boring house in the whole world, and the Indians had promised to look after her. "No harm will come to your friend," Fur had said. So why did the unease get worse all the time? He remembers saying goodbye to Maya. She had come out of the house in her dressing gown. She had run so lightly, but when he'd hugged her, she felt wonderfully solid. No, Maya would be all right. I'm not going back, said Finn aloud. And in the trees, the monkeys threw back their heads and roared with laughter.